Hey everyone! Today we're exploring another chilling and disturbing case. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay engaged. It really means a lot. I truly appreciate it. Now, take a deep breath and let's dive in. She was 7 months pregnant and in love with a man she was sworn to protect others from. A decorated sheriff's deputy, trusted by her town, betrayed by the man she loved and the sister she once raised like her own. But when her world came crashing down, she didn't cry. She reached for her gun. And by the time the truth came out, it was too late for everyone. Samantha Brody, 33, wasn't your average small-town cop. She was known in Waverly County, Georgia, for her iron will and quiet compassion. As one of the only female deputies in the department, she earned respect fast. But beneath her calm, badge-wearing exterior, she carried wounds that ran deep. Her mother died when she was 13. Her father remarried a year later, bringing in a new wife and a 5-year-old daughter named Kelsey. Sam protected Kelsey like her own blood, even as they grew into two very different women. Sam, the achiever, Kelsey, the rebel. Sam stayed local, joined law enforcement, and rose through the ranks. But something was missing. That's when she reconnected with Darren Colt, a former high school crush recently released from prison. He was rough around the edges, but charming, and more importantly, he made Sam feel wanted. Within 4 months of secret rendezvous, Sam found herself pregnant. She believed Darren would change, that they'd raise their child together. But she had no idea that Darren was also seeing someone else, her own stepsister. Sam's co-workers noticed she was distracted, emotional, unfocused. She stopped showing up to briefings, spent more time out of uniform. Rumors swirled that she was seeing someone, but no one knew who, until the night of April 17th, when Darren Colt was found shot dead in his living room. The first call came from a neighbor. I heard screaming, then gunshots, and I saw a woman leave. She was crying. Deputies arrived to find Darren's body slumped against the couch. 3 gunshot wounds, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Blood everywhere. The front door wide open. But what shocked me even more, Sam was already sitting on the curb, gun on the ground beside her, crying, pregnant, and whispering only one thing. I didn't mean to. He lied to me. The case should have been simple, a crime of passion. But as detectives began combing through Sam's phone, text messages, and journals, a much more chilling story began to unfold. Because Sam hadn't just found out about Darren and Kelsey that night. She had known for weeks, and what she had written in her journal, it suggested that Darren's murder may have been premeditated. If he leaves me, one entry read, he doesn't deserve to see this baby be born. He doesn't deserve to live at all. Detectives now had to ask themselves, was this really a tragic emotional breakdown, or had Sam planned it all? 3 days later, investigators obtained a search warrant for Sam's home. What they found hidden in a locked drawer stunned them. A burner phone with deleted messages between Kelsey and Darren. A torn-up life insurance policy with Darren's name as the beneficiary. And worst of all, a photo of Sam and Darren's unborn baby. Stabbed to the heart with a pushpin. Had Sam truly been the victim of betrayal? Or had she been building a case for revenge all along? And why did Darren's name appear on a $150,000 life insurance policy Sam had never told anyone about? Darren Colt's autopsy report was completed 48 hours after the shooting. Cause of death, 3 gunshot wounds. But something was off. The bullets used weren't department-issued rounds. They were hollow point, illegal for law enforcement use. Investigators now believe Sam had switched her ammo before the murder. That meant intent. Even more disturbing, Darren had no drugs or alcohol in his system, debunking Sam's initial claim that he had lunged at her in a rage. And then came the second shock. Forensic techs recovered deleted texts from the burner phone that revealed Sam had been stalking Darren and Kelsey for weeks. Sam, 3 weeks before the murder. I see you. You think I won't find out? You're both disgusting. Kelsey, the same night. You need help, Sam. This is sick. Sam, you'll get what you deserve. When detectives brought in Samantha Brody for questioning, she was in tears, shaking, terrified, and clearly in shock. I never meant to fall for him. she said. It just happened. He told me he and Sam were over, that the baby wasn't even his. Kelsey claimed Darren had promised to leave town with her, that they were going to start a new life together in Florida. She said the last thing he told her was, Sam's not going to let this go. She's not stable. Investigators asked Kelsey about the burner phone, the insurance policy, and the sonogram photo. Her reaction? Oh my God! She kept saying if she couldn't have him, no one would. I thought it was just talk. On day 9 of the investigation, detectives received an anonymous tip pointing them to Sam's private iCloud account. What they found would change the entire direction of the case. There, in a hidden folder, was a video diary, recorded just 3 nights before Darren's murder. Sam sat in her bedroom, tear-streaked and clutching her belly. I gave up my badge, my reputation, my dignity, for a man who treated me like trash. And now he's with her? I know what I have to do. They think I'll just disappear quietly. But I'm not going to be forgotten. She ends the video by looking straight into the camera. They'll remember my name when it's too late. This wasn't a spontaneous act of rage. It was a carefully recorded goodbye. A woman unraveling and planning. Prosecutors were divided. Was this a premeditated execution? Or a psychological break from a woman betrayed by the 2 people closest to her? Sam's defense attorney argued temporary insanity brought on by hormonal imbalance, emotional trauma, and betrayal. But the state had the video, the deleted text, the swapped ammunition, and most damning of all, the life insurance policy that named Darren the beneficiary, until just 2 days before the shooting when Sam changed it to her unborn son. August 12th. The state of Georgia versus Samantha Brody officially began in front of a packed courtroom and live-stream cameras. Prosecutors painted Sam as a woman scorned, who coldly and methodically planned her ex-lover's execution. The defense claimed she was a mentally unstable pregnant woman, pushed beyond her breaking point by betrayal and emotional abuse. But everyone in the courtroom knew this wasn't just a trial about a murder. It was about power, love, betrayal, and revenge. Kelsey Brody was called to the stand on day 3, dressed in black, visibly shaken. She described her guilt and regret about the affair. But the prosecution wasn't interested in sympathy. They wanted to show pattern and motive. Did the defendant ever threaten you? Yes, multiple times. Did she ever say what she would do to Darren if he didn't come back to her? She said he wouldn't make it to the baby's due date. The courtroom went silent. Kelsey continued, saying that Sam left her a voicemail just 48 hours before the shooting. You can keep him. I'm done. But don't expect either of you to be breathing for long. The defense tried to poke holes in her credibility, highlighting Kelsey's jealousy and past issues with Sam. But it wasn't enough to shake the emotional weight of her testimony. The defense's key witness was Dr. Emily Vaines, a forensic psychiatrist who diagnosed Sam with prenatal psychosis, a rare and severe hormonal disorder that can lead to hallucinations, paranoia, and emotional breakdowns in pregnant women. Dr. Vaines claimed Sam was detached from reality the night of the murder, and that her actions were driven by trauma, not logic. In Sam's mind, Darren's betrayal wasn't just romantic. It was a total collapse of trust, family, and identity. Her brain responded like it was under attack. But the prosecution countered with damning facts. The switched bullets, the burner phone, the pre-recorded goodbye video, and the change in life insurance beneficiaries right before the murder. Their argument was simple. This wasn't psychosis. This was premeditated revenge. On day 10, the courtroom was stunned when the prosecution introduced a handwritten letter discovered in Kelsey's apartment. It was dated 3 weeks before the murder, signed by Darren Colt. The letter read, I think she knows, Kels. She asked me if I'd ever betray her. I told her no, but she didn't believe me. She's watching us. She's different, like something inside her is gone. If anything happens to me, she did it. Kelsey admitted she had the letter after Darren's death, afraid it would make her look guilty too. She broke down on the stand, apologizing to Sam's family, and sobbed. I never meant for any of this to happen. Mid-trial, on September 9th, Samantha Brody went into early labor while in county custody. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy under guard supervision. The child was immediately placed in the care of her aunt. Sam's estranged mother-sister, pending the trial's outcome. She named him Noah Colt Brody. When Sam returned to court just 6 days later, she sat silently, thinner, hollow-eyed, empty. The courtroom was tense. Spectators, reporters, and family members filled every bench as the trial for Samantha Brody neared its conclusion. Sam's public image had completely unraveled, from decorated sheriff's deputy to emotionally shattered woman standing trial for murder. And now, as a new mother, the stakes were higher than ever. The prosecution reiterated their stance. Sam had motive, means, and preparation. She knew what she was doing, and Darren Colt's own words in the letter proved he felt threatened. The defense fought back fiercely, claiming Sam's mental state was fragile and rapidly deteriorating due to the hormonal effects of prenatal psychosis, emotional trauma, and betrayal by those she trusted most. But what neither side expected was what Sam would do next. Against her attorney's advice, Sam Brody chose to testify, to tell her story in her own words. Wearing a loose-fitting beige jumpsuit, her voice was quiet as she spoke. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. I felt like I was disappearing, piece by piece. And the person I trusted, the father of my child, was lying to me and sleeping with my sister. I felt like I didn't exist. She paused, fighting tears. I went to his house that night to beg him, not to take me back, but to tell the truth about the baby, about Kelsey. He laughed. He said I was crazy. He said I'd ruin everything like I always do. And I snapped. I didn't go there to kill him, but I did. I took his life. I wish I hadn't, but I did. Sam's honesty shocked the courtroom. She admitted to everything, but insisted it wasn't premeditated. On September 28th, after nearly 11 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with a verdict: guilty of voluntary manslaughter, not guilty of first-degree murder, guilty of illegal possession of a firearm. The courtroom gasped. Some wept. Others sat in stunned silence. Sam Brody was not sentenced to life in prison, but she did receive 18 years behind bars, with parole eligibility after 11, 1 year for every bullet she fired. The judge, however, said something during sentencing that would haunt everyone in that room. You were sworn to protect others, but you couldn't protect your own heart, and in the end, your badge became a weapon. After sentencing, custody of Noah Colt Brody became a new legal battle. Both Sam's aunt and Kelsey filed for guardianship. Kelsey claimed she wanted to raise the baby out of guilt and love for her sister, but Sam refused. I'd rather he grow up with a stranger than the woman who destroyed my life. In the end, the judge sided with Sam's wishes. Her aunt was granted full custody, with limited visitation rights for Kelsey. Noah would grow up knowing the truth one day, but not yet. Samantha Brody is currently serving her sentence at Pulaski State Prison in Georgia. She has started a prison support group for women dealing with postnatal depression and trauma. Kelsey Brody moved to Texas after the trial. She's changed her name and remains estranged from her family. Baby Noah, now a toddler, is said to be thriving under his gray tan's care, surrounded by love, but living in the shadow of a tragic legacy. 2 months into her sentence at Pulaski State Prison, Samantha Brody began writing letters, dozens of them, but they weren't to her family. Not to Kelsey, not even to Darren's family. They were to her son, Noah. Each letter, handwritten in neat cursive, was dated and carefully folded into envelopes marked to be opened when you're older. They were never mailed, at least not officially. Sam entrusted them to her aunt during supervised visits. These letters, she told the prison chaplain, are all I have left to give him. And what was inside shocked even the people closest to her. Dear Noah, I don't know what you've been told about me. Maybe you've heard I'm a monster. Maybe you're not even allowed to say my name. But I need you to know I didn't kill your father out of hate. I killed him because I thought I had no way out. And for that, I am so sorry. In other letters, Sam described her love for Darren in heartbreaking detail, along with a descent into emotional darkness. He made me feel seen, wanted, like I could stop being Deputy Brody and just be Sam. But then I saw the messages from her, your aunt, and everything inside me fell apart. She confessed to watching Darren and Kelsey together, parking outside his home, following them, even standing in the rain outside a motel window as they kissed. I was losing my mind, she wrote. But no one noticed, because strong women don't break, right? Cops don't cry. And pregnant cops? They're not even allowed to fall apart. Sam's prison therapist, interviewed under anonymity, shared startling insights. She was high-functioning for years. But what people don't realize is that unresolved trauma festers, especially in people who never learned how to ask for help. Sam had a long history of repressed emotion, from the death of her mother to years of stepping into a protector role for Kelsey. She became a cop not because she loved the law, but because she loved control. And Darren, he was the first person who made her feel vulnerable. That vulnerability destroyed her. On Noah's second birthday, he was brought to the prison for the first time. He didn't understand where he was, or who the woman was crying as he clung to his great aunt. Sam reached out for him, her hands trembling, but Noah only stared. She tried to smile, but broke down sobbing. I know he doesn't know me, but I saw him, and for a second, he looked like Darren, and it crushed me. That night, she wrote a new letter. You don't have to forgive me, Noah. Just don't forget me. In 2025, a year after the trial, a journalist working on a podcast received an anonymous tip. A video confession hidden in a digital vault Sam had once backed up to a private email. In the video, never seen by the jury, Sam sat cross-legged on the floor of Darren's home. His body was just out of frame. I didn't come here to kill him. But once I saw him laugh, like none of this mattered, I knew I'd never be free. He used me. He used my sister. He made a fool of me. This isn't justice, but it's all I had left. The video was time-stamped an hour after the shooting. She had stayed with his body, alone, talking to the camera, as if begging the world to understand the weight of her pain. 6 years later, 2029, 6 years after Samantha Brody was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, her story resurfaces in headlines once again. She is now 39. Her son, Noah, is almost 7, and for the first time, Sam is up for parole. Inside Pulaski State Prison, Sam has kept a near-flawless record. She runs a support group for incarcerated mothers. She completed courses in trauma healing, postnatal mental health, and victim empathy. Her attorneys filed a formal petition for early release based on rehabilitation and mental health progress. The centerpiece of her appeal, a collection of her letters to Noah and the support of her prison psychologist, who wrote, Samantha Brody has shown deep remorse, not just for the crime, but for the chain of betrayal and emotional chaos that led her there. But outside those prison walls, not everyone believes she deserves a second chance. Darren Colt's sister, Melissa Colt, appeared on multiple local news stations, calling Sam's parole petition an insult to justice. My brother made mistakes. He wasn't perfect, but he didn't deserve to be gunned down like an animal by a woman sworn to protect people. Melissa submitted over 4,000 signatures opposing Sam's release, along with a video message from Kelsey Brody. Kelsey, who had gone silent for years, now had a voice and a purpose. If Sam gets out, she's going to try and get Noah back. And I won't let that happen. She's not a victim. She's dangerous. And she hasn't changed. Sam's parole isn't the only battle unfolding. After their elderly aunt fell ill, Kelsey filed for full legal custody of Noah, arguing that the child needed stability and a mother figure who wasn't behind bars. Sam's attorneys countered, claiming she never relinquished her parental rights, and that any attempt to strip her of them was cruel and unnecessary. Court records reveal that Noah, now in therapy, has started asking questions about his father and why his mother is in a place with gates. We don't want to lie to him, said a therapist close to the case. But how do you tell a child the truth when that truth could break them? 2 weeks before the parole hearing, Sam recorded a statement for the board. No cameras, no crowd, just her voice cracking with emotion. I'm not asking to be forgiven. I'm asking to be better. I want to hold my son. I want to cook him breakfast. I want to earn his love, not steal it. Please let me try. Her words went viral after being leaked online, dividing the public. Some called her a manipulator. Others called her a broken mother who had already lost everything. On June 17, 2029, the parole board assembled behind closed doors. Sam's attorney submitted the letters, the therapy records, and statements from correctional officers attesting to her transformation. Darren's family submitted the crime scene photos, the post-mortem letter, the voicemail, and finally, Kelsey submitted a sealed letter, reportedly written by Darren to her before his death, one the public has never seen. The board deliberated for 6 hours, then made their decision. June 17, 2029, 5:41 p.m. The parole board emerged with its decision. After 6 years behind bars, after therapy, letters, apologies, and unshakable public scrutiny, Samantha Brody was granted conditional parole. The courtroom was stunned. Cheers erupted from a few supporters, but they were quickly drowned by gasps, sobs, and shouted objections from Darren Colt's family, including his sister Melissa, who screamed, "She doesn't deserve a second chance." He didn't get one. Sam was not released immediately. The conditions included no unsupervised contact with her son, mandatory weekly psychiatric evaluations, no media interviews, no proximity to Kelsey Brody. She would walk free in 90 days under strict supervision, but she would walk. Noah, now almost 7, is caught in a war of silence. He has grown up with 2 names, his real one and the one used at school to protect his identity. He still believes his father went away, and his mother is in a place for sad people. But after news of Sam's parole, his guardians were faced with a terrifying decision. Do they tell Noah the truth before Sam comes home? Or after, 2 weeks after the parole hearing, Sam sent one final sealed letter to her aunt's home. It was labeled simply, "For Noah, on the day I come home." We don't know what it says, but sources close to the family say it's the first letter Sam wrote without mentioning Darren's name once. It's a letter about hope, about healing, about starting over, even when the past never really lets go. Social media blew up after the parole news. Hashtag Free Sam trended alongside hashtag Justice for Darren. Some called Sam a symbol of a broken woman, failed by her system, her family, and herself. Others called her a manipulator who weaponized motherhood to escape justice. Podcasts, documentaries, even a limited series deal was rumored to be in development. But through it all, Sam stayed silent. No interviews, no statements. She told her lawyer only one thing: "I don't need the world to understand, just my son." On September 15, 2029, Samantha Brody stepped out of Pulaski State Prison at 7:03 a.m. The sun was just rising. Her aunt was waiting in the parking lot, so it was a single journalist. Sam looked thin, older. Her eyes were tired but not broken. She ignored the cameras, walked to the car, and as the door closed behind her, one question remained. Will the woman who once took a life ever truly get hers back? Thank you for following this investigation. This story was about more than murder. It was about power. It was about betrayal. And ultimately, it was about a choice that changed 3 lives forever. What are your thoughts on this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more stories, where each case isn't just about crime, but also offers a lesson for life.